I have been having some fun with embossing. So after seeing Tim Holtz in his 2-hour tutorial a couple of weeks ago, I decided I needed to play with embossing. When I watch his tutorials or question and answer, whatever it is, I get so motivated, but if I don't do it, I forget the process. And I thought, you know what, I've wanted this Foundry one. I love this. The size is amazing. It actually fits the Ranger cardstock, which is 6. This is 6 and 8.5. This is 6 by 9. So there's a little extra for a tab on the bottom. So it's perfect. It just fits that whole sheet like that. You have a little tab to work with when you're doing your dyeing. If you haven't seen that tutorial, I learned so much from Tim. I mean, they're his products, so hello. I decided I wanted to play with them, and I'm making these amazing papers, and I'm like, okay, what do you do with them? I'm not really a card maker. I make them occasionally, but I do junk journaling, and I'm like, how can I incorporate some of these amazing embossed papers into my junk journals? There's all kinds of ways. So I just had some fun playing around with some different makes. I made these adorable pockets, and I decided I wanted to do this little digital on children, like summertime fun. So I've created 12 images of these adorable children doing like summer things, like eating watermelon, eating ice cream, eating corn on the cob, and we're going to play with those images. And then I also have some sentiments to go with them. This isn't finalized yet because I wanted one with a grid and one without a grid, so you can just cut them out and put the border around that you want. So that'll be finalized and on my Etsy page by the time you see this video. So thank you for being here. Let's have some fun creating. Okay, so I just got out a whole bunch of distressed spray stains and oxides. I had a few spritzes there and some mica stain and just started adding some color. I wet my paper first and added water as I went, but my ink was not flowing like Tim's was in the tutorial. I'm like, why is this ink just beating up and not staying in one place? I remembered, I think he used metallic for a few of his demos, but he did use regular cardstock too, so I don't know. I was happy with the final outcome, but it did take a lot of tweaking. And as you'll see as I go, it almost is like that cardstock has a little film on it or something. It's just printed cardstock, so I don't know why. So yeah, just adding in a little bit of pink there. And yeah, I do like the final product. But it took a lot of going back and forth and adding in different, I mean, that's part of the process, I think. Just getting it to where you like it. And that's the beauty of these products, is you can just keep layering and drying in between. And you can't really take away, so you have to be a little bit mindful of, you know, how much color you're adding. But I just don't think you can go wrong with these beautiful colors. So then I thought, well, let me try sanding it, just giving it a light sand and then adding my acrylic mat and just going back to my, I love smushing, and I just find that I like that. See what I'm talking about? I just like that. Now, I don't know if I sanded that one, and I think it received the ink a little bit better, but I'm just kind of sopping up some of that extra ink with my other pages. And yeah. So, yep. I'm liking this. I'm liking it better. It's just more, not as small little splotches, I guess I would say, as you see with the other ones. I think what I was looking for was more of a marbly effect, which I really wasn't achieving. Maybe not enough water. If any of you want to leave a message in the comments, please do. Okay, so everything is dry. I do like how these came out. I think they're great. and I've got some different thoughts about which folders to use. I have this honeycomb type 3D folder. Okay, let's start with a Foundry folder. I thought that would look nice in there. So what I'm going to do is just get these all cut and in here, and then I'll go over to my Sizzix machine, and I'm going to show you guys just a little bit of video coverage of that. Fast forward all this if this is like old news for you. I just thought I would add it in for people who haven't seen the process. But boy, if you can look at it, it is worth 2 hours to watch Tim's tutorials. So here we go. So with the Sizzix switch, and with most of them, you have 4 layers, 2 of the clear ones and then the black one. So when you use a 3D folder, we're going to take off the black and we're going to take off one of the clear acrylics, and that will be the right thickness. All of that is written right there on that base layer. We're going to angle that a little bit, and I thought this would be fun for you guys to see this. There's the alphabet embossing folder that I think is so cool. The honeycomb, I love how this came out. And this is one, it's called Dotted. And this was one of my favorites, actually. I love that. And then the Foundry. Okay. Now, if you notice, what I didn't do, and I completely forgot to do, was wet the back. So the Foundry one I didn't think was a good impression. So I actually wet the back with a couple of spritzes and redid it, and it actually worked. I was able to kind of get it in there perfectly. So now I'm just going to take some distress crayons and just add a little bit of depth to these. I'm using, I think it's called Barn Door. The yellow one I didn't like so much because it's the same color as the background basically, but the Barn Door one I thought gave a nice little highlight. So I just went in and added a little bit of that. So I'm trying to decide what to do to highlight these, and I decided to get my brayer out and use some distress paint. You can use any acrylic paint and just brayer on. This is old paper distress paint, and I like that. I like how that came out. This is a Flourish. I think it's called Flourish. And then for this, I decided to try some corduroy, but again, it's pretty much the same color. I don't know, I was just a little intimidated to try like something really dark because of all those beautiful colors. If I had to do it over again, I would have, but I just didn't have time. And then I decided to sand down these. You get down to that brown Cardstock. Again, probably would have used black ink or something darker than the brushed corduroy, but that's what I used, and it definitely highlighted them. It's a funny thing about color when we're really not sure, and you've put all this work into this, right? You don't want to do something you're not sure about, but I will continue playing with these and try something darker for that highlight. So I sanded my other 3 pages just to get it down to the cardstock, just to make it more like malleable to receive some paint. And I decided to go with the old paper again for highlighting those raised areas, and I was happy with that effect. I mean, as you can see, there is all kinds of potential for having fun with these. It is really... Oh, so here I thought, well, okay, I got brave. Let's try some ink. So I tried some scorched timber. I'm like, And I wished I had stuck with my original idea, because I put some scorched timber down, get it on my brayer, and it wasn't picking up so well. So then I thought, well, let's just take the pad and put the pad over the top of it, which is a good idea, but the edges of the pad left a big streak down the middle of my page, and I was going to cut this up, so it didn't really matter, but I think it would work to just brayer on that. So I'm just lining everything up and looking at the finished product. Lots of color, lots of beautiful embossing, and let's get busy with that. So I had an idea to cut 1/2-inch strips and just kind of use them, mixing them up a little bit with the different embossing folders. I thought it would be a fun look to kind of mix and match some of these on a page. So just getting everything organized. I love these little project trays. They're from scrapbook.com, and they stack. So you can take everything you're working with and just kind of stack them up. So I use these Wildflower die cuts and some Sizzix beautiful spice cardstock. It's Sandable, actually. And I loved these colors, and just cut some nice flowers to use with the project. So here's the digitals that I created of kids just having fun in the summer. I don't know, I just had this idea of like a summer picnic with eating watermelon and corn on the cob, and just made some fun digitals. There's 12 pictures in all on it. And I just thought it was cute. So I'm just taking some markers, as you see, stating the obvious here, and just coloring these in. I decided to just leave the sepia background and just color the, object there, the food or whatever it is they were eating. So that's what I did. I just kind of went through, and I did have to use some finer markers for the smaller things. And then I decided to add a little bit of cello tape on these. I thought that would be a fun thing to do. My fave. I am getting really low on the small pieces. I mean, I can always cut the larger ones in half. I mean, hello. I'm just saying, I'm spoiled. So yeah, every one of those got a little piece of cello tape. And then I was looking for a piece of coffee dyed paper that would be the right heaviness. I dyed this, it's a manila file folder. So I decided to just make pockets. And I thought that would be nice to add all these elements. So it's 11 inches, so it's about 3.5 inches wide per pocket. And it's a good use for this file folder. I've been kind of looking for things to use for this. Just rounding the corners. So this is Stampers Anonymous Architecture stamp. I love these, and I found this ink from VersaFine Clear called Arctic, and it's kind of like the blue from Blueprints. I was so excited that it was what I wanted. So I decided to just do this as a background, and I just left it folded right up like that. And yeah, it was cool. And excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. As it turns out, the ink gets a little absorbed into that paper and blurs a little bit, and I really actually like the effect. So I left it on there a little bit longer just so that could soak in. But isn't that pretty, those two colors together? Just loved it. So I'm going to use scorched timber for this project and ink up everything with the scorched timber. It really defines those edges nicely. So here we go. I decided to use some of the gold splattered packaging paper underneath the kid's photo there, just as a little backdrop. And I really contemplated, because I'm like, do I want to cover up all of that pretty ink that I just put down? But I made it a little smaller, and I like how it came out. Sometimes we just do design as backdrops, but when we really like them, it's hard to cover them up, isn't it? This was a fun project. Once you get the bases done and get your things cut out, these go together very quickly. It was no problem to pop these guys together, but you know, it was a little work that went into it to get to that point. Oh boy. I mean, all said and done, I probably didn't need to. You could use the embossing paper that I embossed. You don't have to cut it into strips. You could just use a square and it would be beautiful, and just put a butterfly or whatever right on that. But I just had this idea in my head. Now I have so many of those strips, I have to figure out what I'm going to do with them. I used a bunch of them, but I think I'll put them all together and make some sort of a big journal card or something and sew them on. It'll be pretty. I just didn't have time to do it for this video. That stuff will never be wasted. So, yep, just getting down my little gal, eating her corn on the cob. And getting a little stamp down there, just building up layers. I think I used a piece of washi on every one of these, just as a little added element. I got some really cute, bright washi tapes from the washi shop, and this was one of them, and I am glad to have a chance to use them because they're so pretty and bright. I love them. All right, so let's get some of that embossed paper down on the bottom of that. I just had this idea that I wanted them to be a little bit different lengths, and I wanted the edges torn. And this paper is not easy to tear. I don't know if you've ever tried to tear it. I think it would have been better just to use scissors and give it a little, you know, kind of a rough cut with scissors, because it's no joke. It's very, very sturdy paper. So I inked around all the edges with scorched timber, and I liked these two together, these two embossing folders, so we just kind of did that. And then I have this faux suede that has a tiny little gold sparkle on it. I've used it before in projects, and I just thought, wouldn't that be fun to make it like that's kind of gathering it in, like holding it like that. So my sample that I made, I actually used brads, and I wanted to just say this because I didn't in these last two that I'm making on here. And I put the suede on, let it dry, and then once it's dry, you can use your Crop-A-Dial and actually punch through it. Trying to do it with when it's like by itself, forget it. It's too thin and it doesn't work. But it worked really good. And then you could use the brads and put a brad through. But on the back, I had to put washi tape, so whatever I put in that little pocket wouldn't get caught on the brads. But for these, I ended up just using those little Ranger screw heads that you can just glue on. They're flat. So just looking for a butterfly that I'd like with this. And I decided to just fussy cut this cute red one. That was from a pack from Witchcraft Do You Do, her little mini journal that I did on my vacation. It's so cute. So I'm just putting down a little bit of this gauzy cheesecloth. Boy, these colors look like late summer, fall, don't they? Just love these yummy colors. Like, if I don't make a space and get that glued onto the cardboard, those are just going to be floating on that, and they are not going to stick. Oh, I wanted to say that these were stamps. I think it's a retired Elizabeth Craft design stamps, the You Are Precious and You Are the, but I don't think they offer it anymore. On my digital download on Etsy, I made my own on Adobe, so you know, it's nice because you can just print them off and cut them up and you're good to go. I did do those on watercolor paper though, so it had a little bit of, you know, sturdiness to it. So here we go. I'm just adding in those little screw heads. It's a lot easier. But the brads look nice too. I wish I could find some of those screw heads in like gold and different colors. Yep, we're wrapping this one up. And then I just decided to do one last thing, and that is to just punch a hole and just put a rivet in the top. I wasn't even going to put anything in it. I ended up putting a bulb pin in there, but I just liked the look of just having that big rivet in the top. I thought it was cute. So those are going to be great for a journal. And then I've had these Tim Holtz file folders. They're mini file folders. And the first one that I did, I stamped. And those file folders are very shiny. And I let my VersaFine Clear ink dry for a long time. And then I went to glue something on it and I smeared it everywhere. I was like, no. So now I've reverted to using I'm using decoupage paper. I got this paper. I bought something on Etsy and the person wrapped it in this beautiful, I think it's Paper Artsy, decoupage paper. It's so pretty. So I decided to just use that. I suppose you could use like gel medium, like just clear gel medium, and that would give it a little bit of grip. But I just was like, oh no. I think what happened is I did one side, and then when I did the other side, I completely smeared it everywhere. This pink gingham paper is so much fun. It's from Nomadmoonmagic on Etsy. She has the most beautiful coffee dyed paper. I love it. I got like, I think 6 or 7 packs from her. I will put her information in the description because I'm in love with this paper. So I decided to do one with that. I'm just getting this cut out and glued on, and then I need to let that to allow that to dry. So I just thought I would show you guys that. You know, it's no big mystery there, but I just left that in the video. If you spritz your decoupage paper, any paper with a little water when you're doing this, it allows it to really receive the glue better. And you just have to be careful because you could rip it. But I've done a lot of decoupage and I've always used a little spritz of water. And you can get the wrinkles out and it works well. So this is the magic right here. So see that middle where we're going to open that up to put the picture. The first time I did this, it was by accident, and before I cut it and trimmed it up, I left it raw, and I was like, oh, I like this. So what I found was if you just take a little bit of the center out and then fold the rest of that back, you've got this really cute paper ruffle on the other side that I love. So I did not trim that on the inside of that little window there. By the way, I just used a square die cut and cut those windows in these file folders. So now I am just using a little water pen there to cut out that little image of that bird, and just trying to figure out what else I can put on this file folder. I want to use some embossing paper, but I decided let's just get my little gal in here while I'm thinking. So if you take a pencil and you just do two opposite corners, you have your marks for where your photo should go. So I get her in there, and then I'm like, okay, I know I want to do something with that bird, and I really want to use embossing, the embossed paper, because that's what this video is about, right? How to use embossed paper in our journals. So I decided to make a little pocket out of it. So we're going to put the bird down first, and then I'm just going to cut that down and make a small little pocket for the front of that file folder. Let me know in the comments if you guys like this. This was really fun, and I didn't know how much of it I should add in, and I thought, well, I'm going to edit out. I mean, I don't think you guys need to see me gluing and, inking, so I try to delete a lot of that out, but just some of the process steps I wanted to leave in here so you could see it. And here I go, I'm inking. Okay, so much for what I just said. No, I didn't delete all of it out. Yep, just a cute little pocket. You can cut this stuff up and use it everywhere, and it adds a beautiful little touch. That's a name. It's like Miss Madison or something like that. I thought that was cute for her. I need to get some stamps that are like ID card stamps, like with name, address, that kind of stuff. That's what I intended to do, but I didn't have the right thing, so I just ended up decorating most of it instead of making it like an ID card. I love this little vertical hello and decided to just put it on the inside. And again, as I said in my last video, when you're working with beautiful products like this, it's easy to make them look good. My goodness. There's another cute piece of washi. Just love those bright colors. They went so well with that cardstock. And I found a nice stamp to go with this. So I thought I would add that in there. A little postage stamp. And then we'll glue those flowers in. So I found a couple of cute things to add to the front. A little number type ruler thing, label, and another piece, a strip of my embossed paper. Just fun to build. These are fun. Just get some girlfriends and sit around a table and cut up a bunch of stuff and just build some of this stuff. My goodness, it's fun. I think on the back, yeah, I just added another piece of the decoupaged paper, and it was pretty simple. Really should let it dry first before you do this, but Kathy was impatient, so. And I think I do on my next one. Once you let it dry, you can sand it off. You don't even have to cut it, and it comes off beautiful. Nice. I like that. All right, so while that pink gingham one is drying, I decided to make a pocket, just like a vertical pocket, very simple. Just got some, that's the Foundry folder, and some pretty flowers. And we'll just add like a stamp on there, a little bit of washi tape. It's gonna cut a little notch in there. See, but when you cut these things up, look how beautiful those colors are. Even though they looked a little bit splotchy before, they are just beautiful together. When you cut it up into different elements and use like this. Just gonna put that together. Kind of taking some nips and tucks, right? So you guys don't have to watch all of this, but you're getting the idea. And I used a little bit of that faux suede to just put that on the bottom. And there you go. I might end up sewing around that, but I didn't have black thread in my machine, so this is where I'm sanding off the collage paper. I put collage paper around the back side of that gingham file folder, and it comes out beautiful. So here we go again. I just had to show you guys. I am like addicted to this. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to show them this again. So again, just trim, leave like a 1/4 of an inch extra. And it really looks good ripped. And this actually was double because it had the collage paper and the gingham. So it really was fun. Just love that. Come on. Isn't that fun? It's like a fun mistake, right? I decided to use the 3 gals eating their ice cream cones. And just gonna put a stamp inside. This might be like Global Land or something. I don't remember which stamp this is. And the other thing that's fun about this project is just using up products. Like those Tim Holtz file folders, I really thought I needed because I wanted to do a project with them, but they've been hanging around, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use these up. And I just love it. Just getting things out and playing. All right, so I want to use that on the front, and I'm not sure yet how. So I'm going to get it cut down. I want to do a pocket of some sort. I do know that. I'm just going to put some of these fancy corners in there. And then I thought, why don't I do a pocket to the right? And then thought, oh, I got to put a notch in it before I glue it down. And then I remembered I had one of those paper flowers left from my last video. So I put that on there, and it was just like the perfect complement. Got it all inked up with some scorched timber. I want to add in a sentiment, and I'm just trying to figure out the best place to put it. And then decided, let's just give it a little backdrop with some of that embossed cardstock, and we'll put the sentiment right on there, right below those gals. I think something like this would be so cute to give to like a friend or a nephew or niece or grandchild or your own child with like a little gift card in it, a little note. It's just a great way to give a gift to someone too, with those beautiful little positive sentiments. I just don't think you can ever go wrong with something like saying you are loved, you are unique, you are beautiful. I mean, don't we all need to hear that? Come on. There's enough negativity in this world where it's so nice to just be kind and just let people really know what you think about them. So I made those little corners, like the little photo corners, and stuck on there. So this is just winding this up. I found a cute little piece of washi tape, and it says, it's fast. Make my heart sing, something like that. Really pretty little washi tape from the washi store. Then I found a little musical tag that I put up there. And I think that about does that. Just going to put one of those circle closures on. Yeah. All right, so let's look at all these fun things. So I've got the 4 pockets. I've got my my little pocket to put in a journal. I made a tuck spot, tuck whatever, and then these beautiful little file folders. And this was just a great project. And I hope you like it. I hope you'll try it. And yeah, make some of those embossed folders. They're fun. I'm just getting started with those. And I've made my little 12-pack kids photo digital affordable on Etsy if you want to go over there and look at it. I just thought they were cute with the little sentiments. And that one too, that was a cute little die cut that I wanted to try, and just put those little guys in there eating watermelon. So that's it. Thanks, guys. Love you. See you next time.